Alright, what is happening? Zaki Zan. Today I'm here with RuneScape Dragonwilds, which is a new game that is wishlistable on Steam, which means you can't get it yet, but you can basically put your name on the list that when it drops, you'll be first to give them their money. If you don't play RuneScape, check out any of my other videos. It's an MMO online. It's a game where you like level skills, you do quests. I assume anyone watching this knows what RuneScape is, so I don't really have to. But this is their company Jagex's form of like launching or branching out into a different format of the same game, because it's still RuneScape, but it's supposed to be like a survival-based crafting game, which is kind of like if you ever played Valheim or Minecraft or Pal World. This kind of game is becoming more and more popular. Honestly, I'll get into it at some point in this video. I don't know how I feel about that kind of launch for this game. I'm gonna play the trailer and we'll just go from there. All right, so this one's a short one. There's a longer one with more. This shit, I don't even want to talk. This shit looks fire. I can't deny it. This looks good. Do the full screen real quick. Right, dude, like the boss fights I get, like I assume, but it's called dragon. The game's about dragons mostly, but like the dragon fight things look crazy to me. So we'll go through this real quick. Like, so here you have the the thing is that my big problem with it, a lot of people already, it's not an MMO, it's not an open world. I mean, technically it is open world, but it's not like you can't just run into random players. You know, people have to either be invited or you guys have to make a server together, something along that line. So, but there is a PvP, not a PvP, a PV, a multiple player aspect to it. This guy, the wise old man, you don't know him, get to know him. That's all I'm gonna say about him. Dragon. So you fighting dragons. Okay, let's keep going. This is again like a combat. Like if you played Valheim, like that's Valheim, or that's any game where it's like a, you know. So again, it looks like team combat. As any game, you have skills. There is magic. Again, this is another form. This is like building your house. That's the biggest thing about these kind of games, are building forms of shelter, things that, you know, where you keep your loot, you know, blah blah blah. I'm sure at some point this shit gets attacked by somebody or something, so you have to defend it. But yeah, you get to build your own little town. And then one of the big parts of these kind of games are like forms of boss fights like this, where you and your people team up to go take down something that is equivalently stronger than you guys, but you know, don't stand in the fire kind of stuff. You gotta, you know, work to beat it. But it does do that last one. I don't know if it's the same guy. It might be. I was gonna say, because I would assume that you could solo this stuff, because God forbid you don't have any friends, and then they don't want this game to not be accessible to people without friends. They want anyone to be able to buy it. So it's not just because you can play with people. I'm not assuming that it means you have to play with people. But yeah, RuneScape Dragonwilds. We'll get into it. Wish listable now. It's welcome. Okay, welcome to Ashenfall. The plot is dragons have awoken in a forgotten content in RuneScape called Ashenfall, so it doesn't take place in RuneScape. Like if you play RuneScape currently, it's not. That's another thing that throws people off. It's not actually tied to RuneScape. You must gather resources, build shelters, and craft weapons. Basically, like Minecraft, Valheim, like any other survival-based crafting game, creative game. Only by mastering survival, unlocking ancient secrets, blah blah blah, you could slay the dragon queen and reclaim Ashenfall alone or with up to 3 friends. At its core, it is like RuneScape in the sense it has quests, skills, ruins. You know, there's gonna be a lot of things that if you play RuneScape, you're gonna be like, oh, I remember that from RuneScape. Like you see the goblin, but it blends other stuff. So if you don't play RuneScape and you play the game, you know, this stuff isn't going to be like completely like, you know, what the hell is going on. You're still going to be able to pick up on what's going on. Just if you played RuneScape, it's going to be more like deja vu, where you're like, oh, I know what this is, I know what that is. Like, shit, my light just started falling. I don't know if that's going to stay. You have sorcery, chop trees, do all this stuff with magic. Seems kind of lazy. You could just chop the tree yourself. Explode ore vines. So I assume that magic is supposed to be a big part of the game. Grind skills, slay dragons. That is technically kind of what RuneScape, the MMO, is based on. Obviously there's so much more to that, but this game, it might be a little bit more narrow. Because again, this isn't a game for people that play RuneScape. It's a game for people that play games. You enter this land of dragons as you level up, arm yourself, uncover mysteries, learn how to confront them, overcome them, post. Again, you do all these things. It's just like RuneScape, not RuneScape, Minecraft reskinned, or Valheim reskinned. You know, you have a character who's trying to survive. Once you survive, you start to thrive, you start to level up skills, you start to arm yourself, you learn how to cast spells, and then, you know, you go to try to beat the enemy, whoever the boss is. This is Palworld. This is literally every survival based, I don't know if it has a specific name, but this is a survival based game. Make history or become history. I like this line. It said, the smart money's on the dragon, but we do love an underdog, because they know we live in a world where everybody likes to gamble. I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at me, at me. But the smart money's on the dragon. I'm like, fuck the dragon, then give me the underdog. We love plus money around here. That's how we get rich until, you know, we're broke. But community-driven, player-centric. This is one of the cool things about RuneScape. I don't know if it's current RuneScape 3, because there's two RuneScapes. There's old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3. But one of the things that has saved, or if not helped make thrive in a way, old school RuneScape, is that it is player-centric, update-driven, which means that players in the community get to, in a way, decide the current updates that will be put in place. Like if RuneScape has a board idea and they're like, let's do this, they're like, well, we're gonna test we're actually gonna poll it. Every update gets polled in old school RuneScape, and if it doesn't go through on the poll from the players, it doesn't get passed. You know, it has to get passed. So, and basically ever since they've implemented that, you wouldn't believe the wonders that it has done for the game and for the community, you know, because you have games nowadays like MMOs where they start to fail because the company makes updates that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, and then people complain about it. So old school RuneScape said, instead of that happening, why don't you guys tell us what you want? And so they did, and now there's really not that kind of discord. You know, it's the owners of the game have to they have to sacrifice a form of control to the audience, and you could, you know, it's either good or bad. I mean, it's not good or bad. I mean, they don't want to have to do it, is what I'm getting at, but it helps the game. You know, I love World of Warcraft, I love Blizzard, but Blizzard, the people that run Blizzard, they're so self-centered in a way where they won't relinquish their total, complete, freaking dictatorship control over the game for the sake of the health of it or the community, you know? Like, they don't care what the fans think. They don't care what the community thinks. They do, but they really don't. Like, everything that in World of Warcraft the community has asked for takes them years, forever, expansion after expansion, to finally be like, you know what? You got it. And by then, they're not even thinking the community was right. They're like, you know what? We have an idea. And long behold, it's what the fucking fans said 15 years ago. But we're not going to get into that. But that's what Dragonwilds is trying to do. They're trying to make the game very much like, you know, we want feedback to shape the game because they're smart. Because they hired somebody that is actually doing their job, and now they know how to run a fucking company. So that being said, from alpha to beyond, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. And we'll talk about early access and alpha soon, because that's one of the things about it. Driven by our players, open world survival, shaped by player feedback. Alpha, launch, and beyond. Players help and guide the roadmap, a living document that evolves with their input, which is cool because RuneScape, when it was initially created, wasn't influenced by the players. They took the old form of it and started with like, all right, from here we go on out, you guys make the decisions. But from the very core of the game, it was not like that. So they're doing that different with this game, where from the core it is. And that is all that they have to offer us on the Steam page. I'm going to link this in the thing if you guys want to go and look at it. I don't want this video to take too long. We're already at 9 minutes. But yeah, I'm sorry. That's 9 minutes you're not getting back. And stick around. I'll take a few more. But one of my big concerns with this game is that other people say is that like it could be a lot better in a sense if they didn't make it. The problem is we're getting the market's getting so saturated with these survival creative games. Like I forget what they had a word for it. It was like open PvE, like open multiplayer, which it was open world co-op, which meant it wasn't an MMO, it wasn't whatever. If you played RuneScape or you played any form of game and then they made a game like this in the same sense, but like, you know, if they launched the game RuneScape with the current map, the current setup, and the current quest and skills, and just did it the way that they were launching this game, like with the graphics and the gameplay, oh my god, I think you would have one of like the best running games like on the market. That shit would shut down World of Warcraft. That would, you know, if you were gonna, that would shut down Guild Wars. That would shut down New World. Any game that like people are playing, like this would be that game technically. But I don't know why. There must be a server thing where it's like they can't have 100,000 people running around in Ashenfall. You know, they got to have only up to 4 because their servers in the game can't handle it. I don't know. I really don't. I think it would be amazing if this is just a 4. It's like every world is different. I'm like, no, at that one big world or different. You do different world. You do the same world with different servers that or different realms that people play on. Obviously, you don't put everyone on the same freaking server. That's how you crash it. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like any game you play, there's different realms or worlds or servers that you log on to, but it's all the same open world MMO style where you have connections or ties to anyone that walks by. I think that would be awesome. But other than that, I don't really have too much to say about it. This isn't like a commentary on the game or what I think, even though I know I just gave that. This was more just I wanted to make this video to put it out to the community so that they could know that this exists. I know, you know, people probably going to find it somewhere else, or if they don't, this is how you come across it. The game looks cool. Definitely going to be something looking forward to. As I said earlier, player centric. They were talking about alpha. Right now, if you go on Steam and you put wishlisted or put your name on some list, you can get chosen for alpha. I'm gonna do that. Hopefully, you know, one day I'll get chosen for that, so I could, you know, be a part of the alpha or beta and make videos on that, and then actually give you guys something to watch. But other than that, I thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna put the link in the description. My name is Zaki Zan. Stay tuned.